Okay, so you're in high ticket sales, and high ticket sales has given you everything you needed. It's given you money, it's given you remote freedom, and it's given you access to this online Wi-Fi money world. But you're starting to see a lot of people you know going into sales coaching, teaching people the skill of high ticket sales, and you want a piece of the pie. This video is gonna go through how you can construct your full sales coaching offer so you can teach people the skill of online sales. We're gonna go through three steps: the offer, the acquisition, and the delivery. This video is going to tell you every single thing you need to know to build a profitable sales coaching business. And not only have I been in the sales space myself, but I've also taught Bassett and Ben how to build this sales coaching business. Ben has made 8K within the first 2 weeks of working with me, and Bassett within a week made his first 1K. So I know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to building this system out, and I'm going to give you everything for free in this YouTube video now. Let's get into it. So what it starts with is talking about the 3 steps. And before we go into the 3-step system as to why this is the most beautiful model that I have come across, is because in the sales coaching world, we can monetize in 2 ways. And let me show you here. So on the left-hand side, what we have is we have the people that we're going to coach. And in most coaching models, what happens is you are here as the coach. And what happens is these people come to you, you deliver the skill to them, and then they go out and they use the skill to make money. So that is how most coaching models work within at least the business space. This money can also be the benefit they get if it's health coaching. This is what happens to the end of them. But the amazing thing about the sales coaching space is you can be this human being. You monetize this part, because what happens is these people pay to be coached by you, to be given the skill. But you can also monetize at this part as well, because what happens is all these people now have a skill, they're skilled people, and they are ready to be monetized using an agency offer. And the best thing that I've seen happen here is you can charge 3 to 5K to teach someone how to be better at sales. And then here you can get paid by offers on this side to actually place the people that you've trained. So it's beautiful. So not only are you making 3 to 5K here, but you can also take a fee on this side to place people in online offers. And that is amazing because you are effectively making twice the amount of money off these people, and you can build up a reputation to be a great sales coach, but also be a great placer. And another benefit is that these people not only get the skill, but they also get the opportunity to make money themselves. Okay, so that is exactly why this business model is so beautiful. And now what I'm gonna do is take you through exactly how you can set it up to get off those sales calls and to start making money from the skill you have learned. But it all starts with the offer. What are you actually giving people? So let's break that down into the 4 components, which are essential if you are a sales coach to make sure you've covered. So the first is your ICP. Who are you actually going for? Because there are 4 different types of people that we want to make sure that we've covered. It could be 1 or it could be 2 of the 4, but you want to think, who of these people are you covering? So the first one is the newbie. It is the complete beginner in sales. It is someone who has literally no idea about online business, the online business space. The second is the corporate salesperson. Again, someone who knows about sales, but has no idea about actually the online space and online offers. They're used to selling massive software products. They sit in a suit and a tie in an office, probably in London, absolutely hating their lives. Again, do you want to go into corporate sales? The third one is setter, someone who is currently working in sales in the online high ticket sales service, but is doing setting work, which is the less sexy side of sales. You don't make as much money, but at the same time, again, it is that next step into the closing part. And then the 4th person is the closer that you are trying to actually improve the skills of. So this person is someone who is closing currently, but wants to improve their skills within closing itself to basically make more money. So it's very important to work out who these are, because they have all very specific problems and specific mechanisms they are looking for. Because the newbie just wants to learn about this online high ticket sales thing and doesn't necessarily have too much pain keen, but they have an interest to get into this world. The corporate salesperson is full of pain. They want to get out where they are right now. They're very easy to market to, and they have a lot of money. The setter is someone who wants to progress through the online high ticket closing space. They're easy to find because of the fact that you know where their offers are, and they're also easy to market to because of the fact that they know what the online ticket space looks like. They know the potential that the closers are making. And then the closer, again, is easier to find because they're pretty active online, but they also are harder to market to because they know what you're talking about when I give them an offer. However, they do know what sort of money, the 30, 40K months that the top closers are making, and maybe they want to be there and they're not there right now. So that is the first thing. We want to work out who our ICP is. And I would say it's very important to pick one, maximum two of these, because we want to make sure your marketing is as targeted to them as possible. Okay, number two is the value you're actually going to give them. Because at the end of the day, what happens when we're giving these offers is we are just looking to give people value. We are looking to get people from A to B. And that is all you need to think about right now, is you have your ICP and they want to be here and they are currently here. So how are you gonna get them from A to B? And it's quite literally as simple as that as a sales coach, is thinking, okay, which one of those ICPs was I actually talking about? Where are they right now? And where do they want to be? Because if you're a newbie, it might be the case you just need to make them their first dollar online. But if they're a closer, then what do you need to do? Where is their B? Is their B, all the way at the point of making a 30K month? And that is really important to have that in mind, because all it is your offer is what takes them from A to B. And the value you give them is this offer. How are you gonna get them? What are the things you're gonna implement within your program to make sure that they get from A to B? And if you don't have that locked down, then I'm sorry, but you won't get anyone in your program, because you won't be able to show them that what you can do is actually gonna get them to that goal that they want to go for. The whiteboard, always fun. Okay. Third step is the guarantee. And the guarantee gets a lot of negative press because people set absolutely ridiculous guarantees. But the way I look at the guarantee is it's just a case of reversing people's risk. And what they fear when they get from A, when they're in A, and you can tell them you can get to B with your value, is that it's not guaranteed. They actually have to risk something. And what I find, I put conditions on my guarantee, not the outrageous conditions you hear about in other offers, but I put conditions which show to people that all you have to do is these steps and you will get to B. So what I would recommend when setting up your offer is to give a guarantee, not an outrageous guarantee, but a guarantee that removes some of the risk. When we went through the ICP, the newbie is going to want a lot higher guarantee than the closer, because the closer knows what they need to do. They just need the accountability and a bit of training, right? But whereas the newbie is, you're asking them to cough up a lot of money. They're probably a civilian, so they're probably not used to paying 3 to 5K for anything, let alone some coaching. They have no idea whether it's going to work or not. The two guarantees that I really like is work for free, and I like the one that is condition plus refund. Because the thing about the work for free one is conditions plus refund. The thing that I like about the work for free guarantee is because it shows that you are willing to basically make a shocking business decision because you're so confident that someone is gonna get to B. So I think that works really nicely, and especially if you're a new sales coach, this can feel like a low risk strategy, because at the end of the day, right now, your time is something that you can give away. So if you have to work with someone for free until that happens, then that's fine. The other one that I like is the conditions plus the refund. People are super negative about these conditions, but I like attaching the conditions to a refund, which says if you don't get the outcome, if you don't get to B in the time that we work together, I will give you a refund, but those are attached to conditions that you must do in order to get that outcome. And that is the conditions. And conditions get a very bad rep in this space. I would honestly say conditions are great if you have honestly done them yourself, because I give people conditions which say, I did this, you need to do this, but if you do this, you'll get to where I am. And that is the reason I put those conditions in, because it gives people an idea of what they actually need to be doing, and it gives them a minimum standard. So I like that, but I don't necessarily like the conditions which they can just attach. People just attach to absolutely ridiculous offers. So that is the third one of the offer. And the fourth one is what I call proof of concept. Because the thing about this, as I've just mentioned, is every time you invest money, there's a load of risk. And as I said at the start, when I talk to closers and people who want to become sales coaches, I can show them that Ben made 8K within his first 20 days of working with me. And Bassett has made 1K within his first week of working with me. And that is the proof of concept that you're watching this video now going, okay, this guy kind of knows what he's talking about. He's not just some guy on the internet who's trying to scam me. He's done this already. And the problem you'll have as a sales coach to start with is there are a load of people online who have the sales skill, but there's a difference between the skill versus actually coaching it, right? Because we all know in life, you can be good at something, but you can be awful at coaching it. There's a load of football players as examples, right? So how can we get good at the coaching, or how can we show people that we're actually good at coaching and not just the skill? And that is having a proof of concept. That is having testimonials. And the first thing that I do to make sure that my clients get success when they are coming into being a sales coach is that they prove that they can do what they say they can. And the way you're gonna set up a proof of concept depends on the where you are right now. Because some sales coaches, some people might be watching this video right now and they know they've already helped people. So if you have already helped people, number one is just record the testimonials. So that's number one. That's like the best option possible. It's just record the testimonials that you've already got. You'll see on my Free Thinkers Club Instagram page and on my YouTube channel, I just have stacks and stacks and stacks of proof of concept, because it makes people believe and shows people that I can do what I say I can. So that's your first step. That's good if you basically have already worked with people, already helped mates. The second thing to do, if you haven't done that, is to basically gather your beta clients. And what you're gonna do here is you're gonna message people in your network and you're gonna say to people, why don't we work together so I can help you get to that outcome that you wanted? So it depends what ICP they are, but tell them, okay, you're stuck in a corporate sales job, you want to start doing remote online high ticket sales. Let me coach you and I will take you to that dream outcome. And that is a very simple conversation to have with people, especially if they're in your network. And all you need is 1 or 2 beta clients to get these testimonials to then have this so you can start proving to people you can do the coaching aspect. So once you have proof of concept, people will start to believe you. And if you want to do this for the beta clients, I'd highly recommend telling people not working for them for free, but saying, okay, you need to pay £100 deposit. And that £100 deposit is going to be refunded to you at the end of us completing the program. All it is it creates something that makes people want to make sure that they work hard. If you give someone something for free, they never do it. Trust me, I've done this a million times with people who've said they're going to do something when I give it to them for free, and they never ever do it. So that is a little hack to use for that part. Okay, so then we have built our offer. Our offer is perfect right now. We've got our ICP, we've got the person we want to work with, and we've given them value, we've given them a guarantee to reduce their risk, and we give them the proof of concept. And now we're going to talk about acquisition. And acquisition in this space is the most simple of all acquisition you will see in the online offers. And this is why I love this, and we've got such amazing results with my clients in this business space. Because the first thing you're going to do, if you're in this space, it is almost guaranteed that you have an amazing network, because you've worked on offers, you've set for offers, you've chatted to other closers, you probably have your friends from back home. You must know loads and loads of people who are in this space. And that means that you can double down on working out which one of your ICP do you want to help, and you will know at least 10 people who want to get from their ICP, from their A state to their B state. So where are you going to find them? In your network. Amazing. And what you're going to do is you're going to use a very, very simple way of just complimenting the people in your network that you know are looking for that outcome. You just compliment them and you just say, look, hey, ask them about the marathon they run, or congratulate them on, you know, the recent engagement you saw in their life, or something like that. You compliment them, and that's the first step. And what you do is you then have a conversation with them. And then the second step is you ask them, did you get anywhere with the outcome you wanted? So you basically phrase it as a question, not salesy, like question, to outcome. So the way I did this when I was building my network offers is I just said to people that I started with content, right? And very similar, it's a skill. I started with a compliment, I gave them a conversation. I said, oh, I've been seeing you've been posting a little bit. How's that going? And then you say, are you looking to grow the page? And then either they're gonna say yes or no. And because you're in their network, what you actually say to them is you say to them, okay, well, I've actually got this offer right now. I've got these testimonials and I'm looking to bring on my first clients. Would you be interested? And that is the easiest way to acquire your first clients. And that is how Ben and Bassett have both had such amazing success so quickly, is because your network has got your first 10K as a sales coach in. So 100% use your network. And if you're watching this and you're already an established sales coach, I guarantee you've not exhausted your network enough. That is the first way to do this. The second way to do this is to say to people in your network, okay, do you know anyone who might want to achieve X outcome? That works amazingly because I guarantee you that your friends will have friends who want the outcome. They are the ICP and they want the outcome to get from A to B. So that is the other thing to do, is that is number one, compliment and just ask the question if you think they're your ICP. But also I would ask them, do they know anyone? And I guarantee you they will refer someone to you because they are in your network. And I get messages every single day from people who are like, I've got this friend, he might be interested in working with you. And that works really nicely. And by the way, if you are interested in working with me, then the link is in the description. If you want me to install this into your business and gain the success that Bassett and Ben have got themselves, but no pressure on that. Let's keep going through the business model itself. I don't know if this is looking grim or not, but let's hope not. So we've got the network. The second way you're going to acquire clients is using content. And this is my bread and butter because content is one of the most beautiful things. If you've worked on offers, you will know exactly what it looks like when someone comes through an organic bit of content versus when someone comes on a paid ad or a cold DM. We love content because it makes people so warm and ready to buy. They feel like they've made the decision themselves. And there's actually just two bits of content that you need to be worried about as a sales coach right now. And the first is lifestyle and the second is value. And that is because in the sales space, we are trying to push two things. Lifestyle, the fact that you are gonna be at B and you're gonna love your life right now. And the second is value, because we wanna actually show that you are gonna be the person, you have a proof of concept and you can get someone to the end outcome. We want to show that you are that human being. So the difference is to how you do lifestyle versus value depends on the ICP that you are going for. And that is because if you're going for a newbie or a corporate salesperson, then you want to show the lifestyle that you're living, because the lifestyle is what they're missing. As a newbie, they want this online Wi-Fi money, and as a corporate salesperson, all they want to do is get out of the job that they're in currently. They hate the idea of getting up and going and putting on a tie. They hate that. So you want to show the lifestyle. And right now, I'm telling you that you might hate the idea that you're going to be showing lifestyle. You might hate the idea that you're like, right now I'm in this lovely villa in Bali. You might hate the idea that you actually have to tell anyone about that. But the thing is, if you are talking about ICP 1, which is the newbie, or ICP 2, which is the corporate salesperson, then the thing is, they don't care about the value. They don't care about the best way to handle objections. They don't care about the best way to make sure you get paid in full. They don't care about that. They just want to get out of the life they're in. And that is why you see sales coaches just literally pushing the lifestyle that they've got, and they will make bank off that, because people are just like, how the hell are you living in Bali? How the hell have you got loads of supercars or something like that? And that is because they show off their lifestyle. Even when I say that supercar thing, it doesn't mean by showing off your lifestyle that you don't have to be inauthentic, because I have no interest in watches or cars or anything fancy like that. But what I do value is freedom. And I absolutely smash my freedom lifestyle all over my social media, because I don't have to do do calls when I want to do calls. I don't have to show up when I want to do things. I can live wherever I want in the world. And that is the flex that I have. So you don't have to flex your lifestyle about how much money you've made and about your new supercar. You just want to flex the actual life that you're living right now because of what sales has given you. And it doesn't have to be flexy and Lambo boy. It can literally be genuinely like, yeah, I just wake up in the morning, I get a coffee when I want to, I go and walk on the beach and then have a few calls later, and it's kind of chill. Like, that's again a massive lifestyle flex because these two people don't have that. So that is the thing to understand. But value content is super important if you're working with these people, the people who actually understand about sales and about this space of the online ticket world. Because the thing is, these people, they don't care about the lifestyle as much because of the fact that they know what the lifestyle is. They know what they're chasing already, and it does help to put in a bit of lifestyle, but what they want is they actually want to get better at what they're doing. They want more skill development. So with a setter, the value you want to give someone is how do you improve your setting skills and how do you land a closing job? With a closer, it is all about talking to people about how to actually improve the core skill of closing. And you will know sales coaches who just deal with objection handling content. You will deal with closers who deal with like, how do you deal with pain points? How do you deal with different types of like people showing up to your sales calls? That is what happens with these people, and they don't care so much about lifestyle. So with content, you want to be posting about value. You see people who literally just get their phone like this and they're like, if you get the think about objection, then these are the 3 things you do. That would never work with a newbie or corporate salesperson, but it would definitely work with convincing closers and setters that they should start working with you. Okay, so that is the type of content you want to be making. And I'm going to simplify this all for you right now. There is only 3 places that you need to be posting right now for this. That is TikTok, Instagram, and also YouTube. So these 2 are short form. This is long form. So you need to pick, ideally both, just cross post between the 2, but you also need to do long form YouTube. And YouTube, I cannot understate how important YouTube is. I've got one YouTube video that's made me £20,000. And I also know that every single client who comes and works with me has watched at least 2 of my YouTube videos, which is fascinating. You cannot sell a high ticket program, a high ticket coaching program to anybody if you have not got a YouTube channel. That's my personal belief, and the stats of my program show that to me. So that is the long form YouTube video. The actual content you're making does not change depending on what your ICP is. The actual content you're putting on here does not change, but with YouTube, you need to combine it with Instagram and TikTok. And the way you think about that is by literally saying, these are the trailers, these are the shorter bits of value, and this is the long form bits of value. Like this YouTube video, you might have seen me on Instagram, you might have come through me through short form, but this is where I show my absolute value. This is what shows people what they're gonna get from your coaching program. And as always, what happens is this is showing you what you would get if I coached you on how to be a sales coach. So that is exactly why I do that. Again, link in the bio, just gonna plug that as always, as you should do in all your YouTube videos. But that is exactly how you're gonna do content. And what you wanna do is you wanna post once a day on short form content, and you wanna post once a week on long form content. And if you combine that over time, you will get your ICP messaging you over and over again, and you'll be able to get them on calls. Okay, perfect. What you'll notice is I haven't actually spoken about how you're gonna sell them because you're in sales. You know what you're gonna do for that. And I didn't even wanna bother wasting your time by actually telling you how to close people. All I wanna quickly tell you here, which is like a little bonus, is what you wanna make sure you do is you wanna make sure you qualify them and then sell them. I think the qualification call, especially while you're building this out, is very important. So you just wanna have a quick qualification call, which is like a 20-minute call, because what you'll find is some people, they don't have the money, especially if they're an ICP 1 or 2, or they don't really know what you're offering them. This qualification call is very important, and I think it's a fundamental part in working with people. The second is the closing call. You know this is the bread and butter. Get into people's pain points, build the gap, sell them, deal their objections. I don't need to tell you how to do that. I've closed about 200K's worth of deals myself, but I know if you're watching this, it's very likely you know everything about closing, and that's exactly why you're becoming a sales coach. Okay, let's get on to the delivery, because this is something that people struggle with a lot, because you've worked as the front end of offers. You have sold to people, but you've never had anything to do with how do you actually get people results? How do you deliver people the sales coaching coaching itself. And the reason I've written this triangle down is because there is very simply just the 3 steps that you need to use to actually create an amazing delivery system. And the first is basically just saying, how do you improve people's skill? Because at the end of the day, all we are doing right now at the start is someone comes into our program and they need to have their skill improved. So how are you gonna deliver things that helps people's skill get better? And that could be one-to-one coaching. It could also be community calls. It could be resources, but how are you gonna improve their skill? Again, it depends on your ICP, because if they have sales experience, then what you wanna do is just tweak some of their knowledge. But how do you improve their skill if they've never sold before? You need to teach them the mindset, the fundamentals of sales and exactly how that works. So first thing is to think about skill development. That is number 1. And then the second thing that I love is community. As I just mentioned there on the community calls, I believe that community in this world is super important for many reasons, but I've seen it with my own program, because the benefit of community is it means you can offer people many to one value, or many to many value, sorry. So what happens is, as opposed to me having to provide everyone in my community value, there are other people in the community that can help other people in certain pain points. So the thing is, I help people with the big things, like how do they structure their offer, all of that. But I don't want to be the blocker that stops someone from making progress because they don't know how to set up a Calendly link, or maybe they have issues with B-roll, or maybe they don't know where to put their testimonials. And that is the great thing about community, as well as the fact it just makes you feel like you're not doing it alone. And I love that fact. It's genuinely great. I've built an amazing, amazing community full of people who are all sales coaches and other people trying to build their coaching, freelance and agency business. And it's amazing to have people in there who are interacting with people I know. People have met up in Australia from my community, people have met up in London. I do regular meetups, and that's great. I love the community aspect, and I would 100% include that in your sales coaching part. Okay, community. And then the last thing, which is the beautiful part about this business model, is I would include next steps. Because the thing about the service delivery, or like, let's call this like offers as well, right? So the best thing about this is you improve someone's skill, you give them a community where they love being part of, but the important thing about the value add of being the sales coach is you are also gonna give them where they can go next. So for example, again, depends on ICP that you're looking at, but if you're working with a beginner, then that's giving them the next steps in order to become a closer or a setter. Where can you give them offers? Can you have an offer board? Can you point them in the direction of how to actually find those offers? Again, Ben smashed it with his clients right now, because what he's done is he's given them all the Facebook groups they need to go into, and I love that from him. So that's why he's got them such great results already. But also, if you're working with closers and setters, then it might be great to have a kind of incoming message board where you can put things in that you show them where the next steps are to go. So next steps in terms of the offer means that you get people better at the skill they want to improve. You give them a nice place to hang out and feel part of, and you also give them the ability to use their skills to actually go and make more money, which is what people are realistically coming for you to do, as at least the proxy to then have a better life. So that is the delivery triangle of the sales coach. And all of that video is giving you the whole mechanism that you need in order to be the best goddamn sales coach in the world and build an offer that helps you get off those sales calls and start getting some of that Wi-Fi money into your own pocket. Thanks for watching.